Good morning, everyone. I'm Simon Isaac, the founder of Capsule. I've been working in the marketing business for 30 years and love working with organizations all over the world to evolve and build their brand propositions. I've done this for startups, scale-ups, global corporations, but I always love talking about branding and marketing. And today I thought it'd be really good to share my own thoughts on how thinking like a marketer will help give you or your business an edge. When you bring together customer insight, analytics, and commercial rigor, you combine that with creativity, then I think you are thinking like a marketer. I know how hard it can be to get your mind into this space. So we created this free webinar to get you started maybe and thinking about your business in an imaginative but practical way. It's full of great tips, and there's insider advice in here as well from people just like you. I talk to people all the time about their brands and their marketing. So thanks for joining and engage the part of your brain you've always wanted to now, to think creatively. Make sure, as Jim said, you put your questions in the chat feed or drop him a note, and I'm looking forward to answering these at the end. So let's dive straight in. And the first one is about being creative. So original concepts, campaigns and themes will really help you stand out in the marketplace, differentiate you from the competition. Something interesting happened recently. My mother decided to have a clear out at home, and she found some of my old school reports. And in one of them, the teacher said, if Simon spent as much time on his maths as he did staring out the window daydreaming, he'd probably do quite well. So, of course, I was probably thinking about something like the photographs I was going to take on my way home from school, or something I was going to build with Lego, or maybe one of the models that I was making. So I think creativity can be learned, but it can actually take years to develop creative thinking. Some people are born naturally creative and spend their lives thinking about new ideas all the time. I think I'm one of those people. I see new ideas in everything, every day, and in the everyday as well. But getting yourself into that sort of creative zone and thinking creatively is not easy. So one of my recommendations here is, whenever you're looking to think up new ideas or think creatively, use a different space to do it. You know, don't sit at your usual desk. Don't sit where you would normally do your emails, because you'll be completely taken by those. Take a notebook if you want, and go and sit somewhere else. I always think that the natural environment is good for that. Go for a walk, go and sit in a wood if it's not raining in Britain, of course. But that will help you open your mind to new ideas. And the other thing I would say is be brave and don't be afraid to push the boundaries of creativity as well, because you'll always pull it back. And one of our secrets at Capsule is we always endeavour to do this with projects we work with clients on, and it's a good trick to get the creative juices flowing and get people excited. The next thing I think is really important in helping you get your head into the marketing space is to review and redefine your markets. And this starts really with thinking about customer solutions instead of products or services, and reviewing your markets and the audiences you target on a regular basis. And you've seen the pace at which advertising and marketing changes these days, and there's a good reason for that. People and trends change constantly now. But it's one of the hardest things to do. Is one of these, making a switch from thinking about products and services into thinking about your customer is really difficult. And if you primarily work in a job that revolves around selling, researching, or developing a product or service, that's when you find it really difficult. And I think what this really means is focusing on what I call customer-centric, unique selling points about your products or services. That will go to make the audience you're targeting lives easier, businesses more profitable, or to help them gain competitive advantage. And some of the points I'm going to talk about now will actually help you do this as well. Just switching your mindset and making sure you review and redefine your markets based around customer solutions and not your products and services. Now, the next thing is about niching down, and market share is really important, and obviously volume is really important too in terms of market share, but there's much value to be gained, I think, from niching down to specific market segments. This is often a really nervous sticking point for business, because nobody wants to turn away work or turn away business, but generic product focused marketing usually fails to impress your core target audience these days, because there are so many marketing messages out there. So if you focus on sectors that no one trusts you, that you can specialize in, then that's a game changer. And I can speak from experience here, having run Capsule Marketing as a full service agency for 12 years. We were always focused on our products and services, but over the last few years, we've gone through a long process to establish niches and a niche that we want to work in. And of course, we still work with clients outside of our niche, because they want to work with us because of who we are, what we do, and how we do it. But our marketing at Capsule is definitely niche focused on tech and science. And that means everything that we do, all our own marketing, from SEO to paid digital to email and social marketing, focuses on those audiences. And then if we work with clients, we adopt a similar strategy. So niching down on particular targets is critical. And again, this is sort of you getting your head out of the product and service space and thinking about the audience. And then it rolls quite nicely into the next one, which is what is your unique selling point as an organization or business? I think it's really important to have a focus on your sweet spot as a brand. Is it around being the best product? Is it about building relationships? Or is it about service or best price? You need to really think about that, and competitive advantage generally built around unique selling points pays off. We'll talk about the Capsule brand model shortly, but thinking of the unique selling points of your product or service is essential to defining your message and also appealing to your audiences. Now, we've started working with a tech client recently, and we've been helping them build out messaging focused on unique selling points. They've spent years focusing on the product's qualities, but we've unpicked a real unique selling point in the relationships they build with their customers, the advice they give them, and the service they deliver. And that's why their customers stay with them for a long time. So really, who doesn't want to work with an organization that's got that sort of credibility? So we're going to focus on marketing around that, as opposed to the product the product itself. So the trust that's been created and the reasons customers have stayed with them for so long are the things we believe that new prospects would want to engage with them. The next one is, next point about, it's not all about you. And this, again, is really difficult for people to get their heads around. Thinking about what you do for your customers or clients, their needs and aspirations, and not what you do as a business, is one of the biggest challenges. Talking about your own business is natural, the products that you deliver, the services, but there is another way to approach marketing, and that's to think about the pain points or challenges of your customers. We actually use a modeling tool to assist with this in Capsule that helps build up marketing messages over a defined period and across multiple channels. I can show you an example here. So this is taken from our own marketing plan. And as you can see, it's about problems and challenges down here that the customer market faces. And then we build out solution-based messaging here. And generally speaking, we're not focusing on our products here. We're focusing on things like, I've got too many marketing campaigns to manage. I don't know how to best manage my budget to reach the right audience. I'm struggling with finding the right marketing agency to partner with. So you can't see anything to do with our services in there. But in terms of the solutions, it's how do we sort of meet and deliver on these pain points these customers have. So getting your head around it and thinking about, it's not about you and your services, it's about your clients and your customers, and what do they need? What are the things that are going to really help them get their job done? Again, it's a big difference to how we would normally speak about business. Then I would say it's about thinking about the proposition of your brand and not your product. Now, building a proposition around the benefits you deliver to your customers rather than your product or services and their features is a critical part of brand development. So developing a proper proposition is actually a skilled process that can take years of experience and application as well. I'm pleased to share my own approach here today, which I've used for about 20 years. And I spent my career honing and developing it as well for a lot of organizations, both large and small. We usually start with a model, something like the one I'm going to show you in a minute. But what this isn't, it's like a sexy, trendy strategy. It's a robust and proven formula that, as I said, we've used for many years. So our brand model starts with developing brand values, and these, generally speaking, can be different to an organization's values. And this is all about thinking about the audience, but actually building them into 4 component parts. So the functionality aspects of the brand, the experiential aspects in terms of what it's like to work with you and or use your products or services, and then the personality, which can be things like your sustainability approach. It can be about the way you approach your client service as well, and then the ideological aspects, which could be around your ethics. And so these sort of four brand elements in terms of values are critical in developing a proposition. Then, do you remember the sweet spot I mentioned earlier? We call that a universal truth, and this is the most compelling and defining insight at the heart of your brand. And we run workshops to help our clients understand and develop these. They're interactive. We run them online. We run them face to face with clients as well, and they're very interesting for people because it allows an organization to bring many people to the table. And there can be different people from within their organization at different levels. It can be an exciting process. But what comes out at the end of it is a brand positioning strategy, which will competitively differentiate the brand on rational values and emotional territory. On top of that, we build out expressions. So these are perspectives that support the position and actually help to make it work. The next point is about becoming a storyteller. And again, this is about thinking creatively about your brand, building brand stories that relate to your customers, that will engage them and help them contextualize what it's like to work with your products or services, is a game changer. Now, great marketing has always revolved around storytelling, and that helps, I think, differentiate businesses from competitors, built around your proposition. So, your values, your unique selling points, your universal truth, and customer stories as well. Those are the things that will help build up a picture of your brand, which is hugely compelling to people, because there's, think about I can put this into context. If you think about some of your favorite websites or the best websites you've been to, think about the journey that you're taken on through that website. So the user experience, we call that. The best ones are those, I believe, that are those that lead you through a story. They keep you engaged and on the website for as long as possible. So it's not just about, again, your product and service. It's build some stories around them. If you've had a product or service which has been enjoyed by your customers for 20 years, build some stories around that. Talk about your customers as well. And talk about the experiences that people have had with your brand. Talk about its development, all of those things, but do it in an authentic way, which becomes a story about your brand, and people will buy into it more. That people buy in, they buy into people. They want relationships with brands, no matter what type of brand it is. If it's a tech product, if it's a service-based product, if it's a SaaS platform, people are interested in the story behind it, and also the story that will help them on their own journey to using the service. And then the final point is about thinking about the best markets. Now, once you've managed to define your niche, focus on the markets and segments and audiences, and then review and redefine them on a regular basis so that you're benefiting from the best performance long term. And what I mean by that is your messaging. We review our marketing and our responses to marketing on a regular basis, and we refine our messaging based on that. So if you think of it in the context of we are looking at audiences within our niche. We're delivering messages we think are relevant and compelling to them and help fix their pain points within their own jobs and roles. Then if we focus that messaging, establishing which messages, so what words, what imagery, what channels are actually delivering the best value to us, are delivering the results that we need, then we're able to refine that and make it stronger and keep it going. And it's imperative you use good platforms to do that as well. So Google Analytics, and don't forget, folks, GA4 is just around the corner. And if you haven't got your head around that, then you need to do it quite quickly, and we can help with that. But also things like HubSpot as well really help you analyze the performance of your marketing and help you deliver a much stronger message to your audience. So, what markets work best for you? So what sectors you're niching down to, what job roles, what people are responding in the best way to the marketing that you're delivering to them, but also what messages are delivering. So what words, what imagery, and what channels are working best for you. And as I said, there's plenty of platforms out there like HubSpot, like Google Analytics, and then obviously the social platforms will tell you the performance as well if you're running marketing within them. So that's a whistle-stop tour there to my recommendations on how to think like a marketer. Obviously, it's taken me years to hone that particular part of my personality. But as Capsule, we blend creativity and performance in everything we do, and that really drives us. We're a full-service agency, so it's not just about creating and designing content. We make sure it gets to audiences, and that's what great marketing is all about. So I will hand over to Jim now to see what questions have come in through the feed, and I'm looking forward to having a chat.